and welcome to Year 11 Advanced Module B. This is the critical study of literature. It's essentially a version of what you're going to do in Year 12, and it's building towards that Year 12 course, which is along very similar lines. What you do in this unit is you're studying one text and you're studying it really, really deeply and with a critical eye. And when we talk about critical and critique, we're not talking about, oh, that sucks. What we're talking about with critique is an intelligent engagement with and discussion of the ideas. When we use the words critical and critique in this module and in English in general, that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about being critical, we're talking about intelligent discussion, if you like. So the best way to understand how the module works is to dive into the rubric. So let's go through the rubric and unpack exactly what it means. Grab a copy of the rubric if you don't have it already, and take some notes on it as we go. Here we go. In this module, students develop analytical and critical knowledge, understanding and appreciation of a literary text. I want to point you towards two words here: analytical and critical. When we talk about critical knowledge, we're talking about the ability to engage with academic critique of a work. So we're moving now from just writing about your own perspective on the work and what you think and what you feel about it. And we need to now be including in your analysis the discussion and appraisal and integration of the work of scholars and academics, not schmoop.com. What we're talking about, as fantastic as those resources are, peer-reviewed, scholarly engagement with the text. And we'll be looking at some pretty challenging texts alongside our core text that will help us understand what this looks like. Through increasingly informed personal responses to the text in its entirety, students develop understanding of the distinctive qualities of the text and notions of textual integrity. That's a new concept here, textual integrity. But you need to study the whole text in an informed way, looking for distinctive qualities, what makes it unique, what makes this story unique, what makes it special, and textual integrity, essentially how the whole thing holds together within itself and with the culture around it. But we'll dive into what textual integrity is in a lot more detail a little bit later on, because it needs a bit more unpacking. Central to this study is the exploration of how the author's ideas are expressed in the text through an analysis of its construction, content, and language. This is all about how the text construction, content, and language express its ideas, how it's put together, the form, the structure, the character, the setting, and the ideas involved, and how the literary and, in our case, dramatic techniques are used in order to express those ideas. So you need to be familiarizing yourself with those things if you're unfamiliar with them, but I'll provide some links and some resources for that. Students develop their own interpretation of the text, and here's the key: basing their judgments on evidence drawn from their research and reading, enabling the development of a deeper and richer understanding of the text. What this means is you're developing your opinion of the text, like I said at the front, but not on its own this time. So you can't just say, oh, this is what I think because I think it. Your opinion must be developed from academic research and wide critical reading. So your ideas in this unit must be grounded in existing scholarly criticism of the text. So you're going to be basing your judgments off what other people, what other academics and scholars and experts in the field have said about the text, and you're going to develop your opinion based on theirs. In doing so, they consider notions of context with regard to the text's composition and reception, investigate the perspectives of others, and explore the ideas in the text, further strengthening their personal perspective on the text. So you're drawing from, in this case, to help you understand the process here. You're drawing from context, then and now. So when the text was created, and now, and potentially other periods of time where it's been interpreted, depending on how long it's been around, to the perspectives of others. So this is, again, that critical academic work. It's been mentioned a few times now. Do you think it might be an important part of this unit? And then the ideas in the text, and you're putting all those together to develop your own perspective and your own informed understanding of what that is. Students have opportunities to appreciate and express views about the aesthetic and imaginative aspects of a text by composing critical and creative texts of their own. Through reading, viewing, or listening, they analyze, evaluate, and comment on the text's specific language features and form. You're going to be doing critical and creative writing, and make sure you understand techniques. That's all that means. They express increasingly complex ideas clearly and cohesively using appropriate register, structure, and modality. They draft, appraise, and refine their own texts, applying the conventions of syntax, spelling, and grammar appropriately. What that means is write clearly, cohesively, and in academic register. If that's something that you've been struggling with, now's the time to really focus on developing your academic vocabulary. And as you do wide reading and you engage with the critical perspectives that we're going to engage with, note the vocabulary that they're using and use it. So you want to be a little bit of a pack rat in terms of vocabulary now. See a good word, collect it, use it, look it up, and then add it to your vocabulary to upgrade the language that you're using. We shouldn't be calling texts great anymore. We need to be upgrading a much more and writing in a much more academic way. Opportunities to engage deeply with the text as a responder and composer further develops personal intellectual connections with this text, enabling students to express their informed personal view of its meaning and value. All that means is everything they already said, they just wanted to sound fancy at the end because they didn't want to end on grammar. So don't worry about that too much. So what do I need to do? You're probably asking that question. All right, in this unit, what are the steps? What do I need to take? And how do I get there? Here's what to do. Number one, closely study the text looking for how it's put together. So that's form, structure, techniques, all that kind of stuff. Look for how it's been made. Number two, read widely and academically about the text. Wikipedia is a great place to start and a terrible place to finish. Use the references, use the critique. We're talking about like high level stuff that we want to be looking at now. That will be challenging, but you can do it. And number three, form intelligent, referenced, and sourced judgments about the text and its meaning, both in its original context and today. Do those three things. They are the keys to success in this unit. If you have any questions, just hit me up and let me know. But in the meantime, let's dive into Module B.